Hey, what's up everybody in YouTube world? This is Barn111970. Thank you for watching my video. Alright guys, I posted a video yesterday called the Silver Debate, and first off I want to thank people that were leaving comments. There were plenty of people that had their own versions of what they believe in, plenty of opinions, but the one thing I was very happy to see is there wasn't childish name calling, there wasn't people attacking each other, there were just people giving alternative views on what they believed in. So thank you for that, and let's keep that going. Excuse me, because that's what we need. We need actual debates where we could be civil and agree to disagree or give your own opinions instead of everybody just bashing and saying things like, oh, you're an idiot. That's one of the problems that we have in this world is we shouldn't bash people for different points of view. So thank you for that. But I want to give some of my reasons for why I like silver. Now, silver is the one thing I talk about. I don't just have silver. I also have gold. I also have platinum. I bought my gold back in between 2006 and 2007 when the average price of gold was around $700 an ounce. I mean, I was buying those little grams of gold for about $25 a piece. So the reason I talk mostly about silver is because nowadays gold has been priced out to the average person. The average person who's on a fixed income and a limited budget is really not going to be able to afford any kind of big amounts of gold. I mean, you're talking about if you try and buy an ounce of gold, even at a coin shop, you're going to be spending about $1,700 to $1,800 for an ounce, depending on where you go. So I speak of silver because of the fact that it is a cheaper precious metal for people who want to be able to get in who may not afford gold. So I'm not one of those people that says you shouldn't buy gold, you shouldn't buy platinum, shouldn't even buy palladium. You should, but they are more expensive. So of course, if you have the money to purchase those things, those are definitely metals you want to have. I talk about silver because of the fact it's just basically it's cheaper for people to be able to purchase in larger quantities. Because that same gold 1 gram bar that I was buying for $25 a piece, even that little amount, and it's basically take a chiclet candy and cut it into threes the long way, they're selling between 65 and 75 now. So even just a small amount of gold is very expensive. So let me put some perspectives of why I love precious metals. Now, some people have been talking about how cash is king. Well, that's a limited game. And I'm going to explain why. And I'm going to show you in perspective, just so you can kind of see what printing of money and what the Federal Reserve has done to the value of our dollar. And that's why I'm very careful with that. This right here is going to be a little hard to see, but it's a 1910 Liberty half dollar. Okay, this is 90% silver. Now, let's go back to the days of 1910. Now, this was a 50-cent piece, which meant it just had a value of 50 cents. Now, let's see some of the things you could have purchased back in the days between 1910 and around 1913. All right, things like clothing. We have boys' knees pants for school, 49 cents a pair. Boys' shoes for school, 98 cents a pair. The average girl's dress trimmed with silk and fancy buttons, $2. A men's suit, between $10 and $25. Let's see. Apples would be 19 cents for a 6-quart basket. Bacon was 20 cents a pound. Eggs were 27 cents a dozen. All right, let's go with furniture. A brass bed was $25. Let's see. Chairs, oak frames, imperial leather, 6-piece set, $11.98 for the set. Okay, then let's get into some bigger expenses. The price of, let's see, the price of a house on average was $3,395. The average price of a car, $490. Gas at that time was 12 cents a gallon. Okay, so here's the thing. I always follow what the bigger type of people do. Now, I'm not talking even about millionaire investors, because if you learned anything about millionaire type of investors, they tend to be very greedy. And that's why if you research history and you check things like the stock market crash that happened in the 1930s, there were plenty of millionaires that lost everything. Those are the people that were jumping out of the buildings because they lost their fortunes. So I would rather listen to the elite type of people, the people that run governments, the people that run banks, the people that run countries. They are buying gold and silver. They are investing in precious metals. They are giving out dollars. So to me, that says in their game, in their scheme, they're saying, as long as people still believe in our lie, we're going to keep giving them that. And we're going to use that fiat currency, that worthless paper that is only backed by the fact that the governments say it has value. And we're going to keep buying up all the precious metals until the game is over. And that's where you have to be really careful. Because yes, a dollar will buy you something, but it definitely cannot buy you the same thing that it once did before the Federal Reserve was created. They are slowly destroying the dollar, and they are buying up precious metals. To me, that is the best thing to follow. Because countries like China, countries like Germany, England, they pride themselves with their gold supply. And you see how China has been buying up silver like there's no tomorrow. They're not doing it for tradition. So I understand how some people will listen to investors and people that have been pretty financially well off. And that's great. But you know what? That does not guarantee that they're right. A lot of times they use greed as a motive. So right now, you can buy stocks and make money. You can purchase land. I would stay away from land because, number one, you can't move land. It stays where it is. If you're sitting on it to try and sell it in a bad economy, unless you have some kind of property that people want in an instant, you're going to be holding on to it, which means you have to pay taxes on it. And if there's some kind of emergency situation, what happens? I mean, look at what happened with Hurricane Sandy. How many people's houses were destroyed? If you had one of those properties that you were sitting on waiting to turn it around, you pretty much screwed at that point. And plus the fact, as they print more and more money, you're going to see property values go down. So if you're buying homes right now, you better turn around and sell them really quick because they're going to be worth less as we go. So you have to research history. A lot of people use emotion based on things, and that's why I watch other people's videos, and I see the comments that people make, and there's such anger and such frustration, and people are so, I mean, I always preach think long-term. Now, most people think long-term means a couple of months or maybe a year. Long-term could be anywhere from 5 to 10 years. You have to stick with why you decided to do something. And the problem is people get so impatient that after a year or two goes by, they say, oh, I give up. Well, that's what the powers that be want. They want you to be frustrated, so you sell all your precious metals, which they all buy up, and then there will come a day, if there is a collapse in the economy, where you can't get back in. Now, some people have been asking my predictions of 2013. Well, I'm still sticking with my guns that I see it dropping first, because they want you out of it. They don't want you to have anything good. That's why they have all these people out there giving misinformation and false information and putting all this emotional attack into it. They wouldn't invest their time in it if it didn't have a purpose. So people have to realize. There aren't people talking about collecting Beanie Babies, and there's all these hundreds of troll people, government people, going around attacking those videos. They're doing it to precious metals, which me suggests we're on the right path. You just have to be patient. So I see 2013 as continued stagnation with maybe $5 moves altogether, until the fact that the corrupt banks and the corrupt government is exposed, because they control the prices. But if you notice what they do, they're buying it all up. So to me, that says we're on the right path. So if you're afraid of your precious metals and you're afraid of your investments, that is your decision. But remember, guys, do what the powerful people do, not the people in the middle. Because, like I said, look at the history of what happened during the Great Depression. Many a millionaire lost everything. And those were the people that became millionaires because of those schemes. Don't fall into that trap. Don't be a middleman. Check out the reasons why you should purchase things. This 50-cent piece, a regular 50-cent piece today, buys basically nothing. So back then, you could buy clothing with it. There's a big difference. The more they print, the less it's worth. And eventually, it gets to the point where you need too much of it to be able to sustain it. And that's when I believe precious metals will make their day. So when I talk about silver, I'm not talking about getting rich. I'm talking about preserving wealth. So this 50-cent piece, for me, now, will buy a lot more than a regular 50-cent piece today. All right, guys, so your own opinions are definitely something we appreciate. Just keep them clean and respectful. Let's keep the debate going. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.